Okay, let's see if we can get this up and working. Hey, we do. So, what have we got going on at the moment? I think this is a pretty crucial period, and I'm just going to go through exactly why I think it is. So, I'm just going to quickly zoom in at the moment. You can see some trend-based candles showing green, which is great. You can see this trend line, which is coming down here. And you can see that on the 12-hour, we're breaking through that at the moment, which is fantastic. You can also see we have ever so slightly, if I zoom in even more, right, on this candle, we have ever so slightly, we are so close to touching what is the 200 EMA. Quite significant. If I go to the weekly, we are well above the 50 EMA, which is in blue at the moment. And that is also highly significant on the weekly. Okay, we've got a crossover here of I think it's an 8 and a 21 EMA. So you can see how much downside we've had. This is coming back up. If we get across, that'll be very bullish. We can see a lovely bounce and a reversal symbol and a bounce off our support here on the weekly. If I go down to the 4-hourly, you can see also breaking through this trend line, which is due to close in 2 hours. We've got, I think it's on the 8-hour, also breaking through this trend line. Okay, and we are now well above the 200 and sorry, that's the 200. We're now above the 200 and we are well above the 50 EMA. All incredibly bullish signs. Okay, the only thing I'd probably try and give some word of caution over is simply what we've got going on here with the Keltner band. We are clearly, well into that band, and there is a limit as to how much we can be in that band before we reverse, and it's typical, at what point. But this is in reaction to a number of very bearish months that we've had, and so far you can see that we're all looking very green at the moment. And if I was to go on pretty much any time frame, this is now looking extraordinarily positive. Okay, what we've also got now is when we are dipping, there's a nice trend line here, but when we are dipping, we're touching these EMAs and bouncing off. Okay, if I go down here, we dip down below, hit our support, bounced pretty much straight back up again. So this is extraordinarily bullish. I do believe if we go to the daily, we've got here a 200 EMA. If we can get above that, that would be extraordinarily bullish. And ultimately, I would like to see us get to 47k. I think we get a 47k. I think we're in a really good shape. I really do. We are certainly trying well above the 50, well above, on the daily. So, and if I go through a number of time frames, in and around this 46, high 46k, just below 47k kind of space, that is looking very good. Something else I want to be able to point out though, we've got the bull market support band. I can't remember what EMA I've got there. That's only an 8. But we are getting much closer to being able to touch on that. This is obviously on the 2 weekly. Right? We are getting much closer. This is 3 bullish weeks. 3. So, what does that look like? That's around again, just under 47k. So you can see this 47k is going to be a very strong, resistance. That's going to be a really important point. Now, what's going to be interesting is it going to be like this, where we touch upon it and then reject, or are we going to just break through? I think personally, from where we are now, I am confident enough to say that I think, despite a lot of potential bearish signs, price is ignoring them and it is wanting to go up. And I think at the very least, I think we can see, around this kind of price. I think we will actually see that. So that's what I'd be really looking for. I think beyond that, I'd be quite skeptical about putting in any kind of massive prediction. But I do think we're going up. It is obvious that we're moving up. It is obvious that that's the way that price is going. And I think price gets attracted to certain levels. Okay, these EMA lines and this bull market support band, it's like a magnet. Okay, we may not touch for a period of time, but at some point, price always comes back to it. Okay, this is a number of months that it didn't touch, but at some point it always comes back to it. Okay, so price is going to come back to that point. So personally, I don't think it's going to. I don't think we're going to have a big move down before we hit that point. Longing at this point would be quite dangerous. Okay, I would like to see us break above and have a nice retest. So look here, we broke above, came down, retested it, and really is at that point you would think, actually, this can go back up again. So really, I want to see something very similar. And let's look and see. Look, we broke back above, retested it. It was really only after the retest that we went parabolic. Okay, so we'll find some other examples. This one's a little bit different, but you can see, retest goes up, retest goes up, retest goes up, retest. So that's what we want to see. So getting above is important. Seeing a retest of it will be vital, and at that point, we can expect to see a much bigger move up. What I will show is, I appreciate this is a little bright, so apologies, it's just the way it is. What this is showing is the open liquidation points, and you'll see if I go to the bottom here, you can see they are heavily in favor of, we've got a lot of open longs. Okay, so all the way down here, don't know what's happened to my chart, let's apologies. We've got huge, so all the space that we've just vacated, all of this longs. Okay, there are not nearly as many open shorts. So as we go up, trying to test these, trying to liquidate these, yeah, there's some big shorts available, but 182 million here for it's great, but reality is that as liquidation or stop loss hunts go, there is far more to the downside than there is to the upside, and that always makes me nervous. In as much as typically the market moves to gobble these things up. Okay, the market movers, market makers, exchanges, whales, whatever you want to call them, they are out there to liquidate these folks. Now, and with so much available, it seems amazing that they're going after quite a small amount here. Okay, does that mean that we're going to lure people in even further? We're going to head up, we're going to hit the 47k mark, and then we have a capitulation? Quite possibly, and there is a lot There is a lot here, to be going after, an awful lot. So it makes me very nervous, makes me very, very nervous. But, for the time being, I think things are looking very positive. It is a dangerous moment to be suddenly jumping in, because we can see here, we can see some big resistance here. That's going to be quite tricky to get across. It's on the daily, so it's going to be quite difficult. On the weekly, not seeing anything yet, but this EMA line will prove tricky to get across as well. So there are going to be some important positions coming up that we need to be very, very cautious over. Right, well, I'm going to keep it short and brief for today, but I hope that's been useful. I think we are looking positive, but I would urge some caution. But look for 47k. That's going to be the magic number for me. Thank you very much. If you like the content, press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I really appreciate it.